Hi guys. So today I have a book of poetry from someone you may actually know, though not as a poet. Amber Tamblyn's Freestallion. Now, I don't think too many people know about her poetry, but around 10 years ago, she started publishing books. She published a couple of chapbooks, just self-published, and then she got this book, Freestallion, published, and I think she's had another book published since then, but this is the one that I got. I read it before I had started getting into slam poetry, so this actually was really influential for me. I picked it up in high school when I was sort of just starting to get into different poets. I was reading a lot of Sylvia Plath, and then I found her stuff on the shelf, and I thought, Amber Tamblyn, really? I thought she was an actress, you know, she's done House, she did, what was it, like The Grudge, she did Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, she did, Joan of Arcadia, that was her big one. But I picked it up and I started reading through it, and it really spoke to me because, I mean, these are all poems that she wrote, like she's 31 now, so 10 years ago she would have been 21, so in her teens and up till she was 21. So, being that I was in high school at the time, it, like I said, really spoke to me. And it's in many ways a portrait of, you know, a young girl growing up and, you know, her thoughts and feelings about the world around her and her relationships and her experiences. And I think in many ways you can sort of tell where there are certain images that I've used that are inspired by hers, or ways that she writes things that are similar to ways that I write things. And there are so many poems in here that I want to read you that I won't really have time to analyze them all, and I don't really think many of them need analysis because a lot of them sort of speak for themselves. It's kind of obvious what they're about, sort of like with mine, but yeah, I'm just gonna read her stuff. So the first one, and another thing I want to mention before going into these is a lot of these poems, because, you know, they're the portrait of, like I said, of a young girl growing up, are about a few things: feminism, politics, and relationships. So, very opinionated stuff. Her opinions, obviously, not mine. And I know she talks about sex in this quite a bit, so that's also a factor. I just wanted to bring that up before going into reading these. Okay, so the first one is called Sink Her. I love the smell of your morning breath hovering over my face in a dolled-up dawn chill against a light blue haze that drags the daylight kicking and screaming in. My velvet-covered raspberry heart grows hooks to snag the meaning of intertwining when words mean nothing but breathing. I whisper to your butterflies down there, did you say something? Would you say the words that might prevent the soft spot in my mouth from growing old? I watch your fingernails grow, dirt and all, never question where the time is gone, because I pray secretly it goes into small footsteps like the likes of us. It's a first strike for my love letters. It's a home run for your unopened mail. This is the pond I built. This the stream I wallow in. Memories so hot they burn down fires. I want to force you to force me to do something against my will. Measure you like a measurement of hell. From my ankles you grapple to the space between my hip bones. Dizzy like rascal from your spin zones, I'm the hard evidence that your indifference shreds. Battery acid turns to cream. Love unveils an 80-year dream, which is really just a plan without instinct. You got me doing the doggy paddle upstream. Hook, line, sinker. Oh, I'm sort of stumbling over these poems. I'm sorry, because I haven't read them in years. I sort of found the ones that I had, folded the corner over when I was growing up, and decided I should just read those, and yeah, just because, like I said, those were the ones that were the most influential to me at the time. But this is sort of gives you a taste for her style, where she sort of gets the idea across by bringing up a bunch of metaphors that seem unrelated, but sort of give a good feel for how she feels and what she's trying to say. So this is, a sort of strange romance. A strange, very young romance. So the next one is highly political and kind of long. It's called Paper Tiger. I should stop dreaming. If God has a head, Earth's the bad tooth to get pulled. He should pull it, count his losses, and smile. Easy is the defamation of the grandest mother. Her tranquility goes under with blood-drenched rocks, like blisters, pox a man's apocalypse. She sweats to detoxify us. She's pushing with wood-worn arms, silvering the tips, reaching, throwing those silver hooks out of her water basins. She's blowing with mighty lip nuclear acid baths, trapped in cloud bubbles, out of a charged atmosphere that just might pop when the next cigarette is lit, when the next can is bent. She should stop denying fish running pregnant with mercury. The bad water breaks, delivering bloody womb tumors like babies. The president's got promises of dead zones overflowing with raw sewage, saturated with pesticides and human bone. He's shooting up lobbyists, green and shitting out greenhouse gases, omitting the CWA and CAA for the RNC and the NRA, muzzling and punishing scientists like pound-bound strays, grinning through brown, stripped plaque all the way to the bank. He's dining on my generation's decaying flesh, making sweet meals out of our last natural resources, saying cheers to corporate capitalism, rubbing his swollen stomach of stench while the crust of my ancestors becomes stale in the crevices of his rot hole, using my future as a toothpick. No mercy for Mercury, no history for human legacy. She is torn from river to liver, ripping road lights and track houses stapled to her tits, grids of land waste, cities stacked upon dead cities like moldy metal, a robot's cum shot. Animals are being born to breathe factory poison, feeding off their own guts and lungs. We eat that slaughter. Why we digest the masticated, reincarnated, and call it a happy meal. Smithfield Foods will feed you the unknown because, quite frankly, the cows never will come home. About these bubbles, the horizontal wheeze of the planet extends. The golden triangle still burns like the third eye of an acrid fortune. Yes, the preview is fluorescent at twilight. The devil's spit permeates the coal-soaked earth. The EPA is MIA, defenseless as laws are lifted. The sky grows dark and the heat grows nails, tearing away the envelope that the world was so mysteriously handed to us in. This administration lets a piece of Houston die to this inferno. Chevron names an oil tanker after board member Condoleezza Rice. The irony cannot be dismissed. Natural mercury providers call to action those calluses of lies we've grown. Suppression of dissent, refuse to negotiate with corporate environmentalism, raise fists of nuclear proliferation against cronyism, blow by blow, voice by voice. Let Mother deliver rapid spankings to those white asses, the Gail Nortons, Dick Cheneys, Samuel Bodmans, and Karl Roves. Let the disciples walk 1,000,000 miles in death's shoes. Let the hogs scuff over the last piece of bacon. Let the paper tigers weep over their pussy bills, screaming tarnation over the tar-filled nation's landfills. The other side is greener, my friends. The lawn is calling for some kind of picket, and it ain't a fence, my friends, no. There'll be no stopping of dreams. There'll be no happy pill fillers reading avoidance brought to you by the makers of denial. Mother has seen the daughter sit and watch the sun set, her family eroded, the human race in an awkward state apologizing for missing teeth. That one is really heavy. That one was one of the ones that always really got me growing up because it made me feel like obviously she understands a lot more of this stuff than I did when I was in high school. But, and again, this is 10 years old, so this poem was about, the Bush administration. It is out, I don't want to say outdated at this point, because a lot of these points still stand, but regarding the politics of it, when she's talking about Condoleezza Rice and stuff like that, yeah, it's a bit dated. But, yeah. So, I lost my marker. There we go. Okay. So, that makes a huge environmentalist point, and that was sort of one of those poems that made me want to try and write poems that are, more political like that, and I still don't have too many that are like that. Most of mine are, about relationships and stuff, but this next one is a little bit more of a socio-feminist point. A little bit lighter, called A Valid Question Ensues Unstitched. No, your clothes are cute, but a phase to me, a poisonous recipe. I watch out for those kind of snacks. My stitches are early scratches, semi-seam lines, uncontrollable scars. You make honey cakes, a mummy's thought on fatalism, practicing preservation skills on a jelly-filled lady roll for a woman with no jiggle at the end of her tailbone. How am I to fit into your bulimia? Unzip my curves' voluptuous secret, petty bone right below my womb. You silence it with fabric of fabrications, treaties deceitful to my gallant ancestry. What images do you hold? Not mine. How am I to fit into your bulimia? Don't know what else to tell you. I love pizza. I really like that one just because of the, unashamedness of, just the whole idea of, sorry, I can't be skinny for you. I like to eat. It's something I've always sort of related to because I don't have the biggest appetite. But I do love my fatty, sugary foods, and pizza and chocolate and the like. This next one is probably my personal favorite. It's another one about relationships, and it very, very strongly inspired a particular poem of mine, which I don't know if I've read yet, actually. But if I have, then you will probably be able to tell. But, yeah, this next one's about, I guess it's kind of about the friend zone. I hate using that phrase, but yeah, basically what it's about. It's called Moths. I consider myself flexible in awkward positions. Not a homewrecker, but I do knock, and you and I are pals. The kind that open up to each other but keep mouths at a safe distance. But I cannot amend all tongues. I walk the dubious centerfold of your eyeline, friend. I carry my purse on the same side you walk next to me to avoid saying anything small. We are the shredded fuse, the rebound wires commencing, badly rerouted and iniquitous. We are the failed test of the emergency buddy system. Chums. I am a derelict without furniture or life signs, painting your posture from distance that can fit inside the palm of your land. Though we share ice cream instead of pipe dreams, I know you'd never be the lover to another poet because you are one, and the fear of being served a reflection in a way that you have served some is a glass house you are not ready to escape from. I'll keep liking mint while you go for chocolate, conundrums I can't seem to get away from. You are just another sheep jumping the fence in my nightmares, counting out numerical complacency, a platonic answer with a nod off, like a million hairs you've grown near your mouth, plowed down rough and sore. My beard too wants to be a little roughed and worn, but the time is not now, if not ever. Not before, during, or after her, your lover, another, or the next chapter. So let's just stay, friends, forever. There is no title for our book cover-up, so I will keep reading like a brood kept laboring. Take a long walk off my short feet. My stomach pleads hunger no matter how much I eat, and its open mouth aches. Where there should be butterflies, there are moths, eating through my loins like loincloth. If there's a map to things spoken, friend, we'll see we are way off. Buddies, you're the worst kind because you won't even reject me physically. We can't even celebrate celibacy. I am your dirty washboard, and yet I've never had you inside me. There's no declaration in our country. Pals, you tug the one red string that seems to run through everything. I seek your flying patterns from behind, the blue leading the blind. Friends, no beneficiary, so we stay. I really like this one because I think a lot of people have been in this sort of position where it's like this friends that will never quite be a relationship but will always feel like maybe there was a chance, but it can't, but anyway, this last one is called Pipe Dreams. Truth is a tactic, a means to distortion. See, on the shores of my beach, your abetting technique is a tidal wave, drowning out figures, girls in disfigurement, the liquidated body, a shape fit for a penis. This is the business of commercial muscle, a community anxiety, a syndrome of panic, a network-enforced disease, complete with glam and glit, a death wish, hold the cheese. Pipe dreams for women, the last remaining, it seems, the last eating, breathing, the last full circle shred dump truck worthy. Ladies, they want to see bones. Softness is intimidating. Curves exceed the standard of unique. Too much of us comes off too healthy. Vulnerability is in. Suffering is sensuous. A child of exquisite molestation. Smallness opens awkward indications of neediness. Small holes needing protrusion, exposing a dark metaphor. Moths taught us. You want more bones? Check a graveyard. I'm still living. Having just recently taken a woman's form, damn proud. Yes, this ass is mine. I didn't eat my way here. This is how we look. You must have forgotten. Note to all fashion queens, backstabbing comments are a modern corset. Set to break ribs, the last remaining, the last cage guarding, ages of hips available for viewing at your local theater or high school. Pipe dreams for women, the last remaining, last eating, believing, dump truck worthy. So remember this. A woman's body is not trademarked. The standard is a corporate decision. Girls buy the image, die to be it. I'll die before I live it. I'm my mother's daughter, take it or leave it. No sucking in for squirting out. Jerks, I am your greatest tearjerker, hexing your desires. I'm my mother's daughter. I carry every weight of every Blanchard. Gaunt makes me giggle, but never pause. So yeah, those are at least the ones that I had marked in this book, Freestyling. Highly recommended for anyone who likes, slam poetry or Sylvia Plath-ish. You can get a good feel for her style from the ones that I've read because I've read so many of them, but I couldn't just choose a couple. I wanted to give a good range of hers so you can, again, sort of understand how much of an influence she was on me, especially on my earlier ones. If you go back and watch my earlier videos of me reading my own poems, you can tell with a lot of, I think the first couple videos are ones that I wrote in high school, and you can definitely tell, because I had, read her stuff and Sylvia Plath, but I hadn't actually been going to poetry slams at that point, so my influences were largely based off of just those two poets and reading out of these two books. But yeah, and it's surprising because when I decided to do this video, I looked a little bit into her to see what else she had done with her poetry, and she has been associated with some big-time slam poets like Saul Williams and Derek Brown, and she's worked with them, and it's huge. And, with Right Bloody Publishing, who I've mentioned in my other videos where I read slam poetry. And I didn't realize, I thought, she had just, put together her poems and published, and I knew she had done readings, but I didn't realize she was so involved with the community. But yeah, it's great. So yeah, that's it for today. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.